Hello, welcome back to Imperfect Parenting. Good to be here. We should jump right in because this is a funny one.
You really like this meme. Okay,
Meme time.
meme time. No, we're not wasting any time for
Why
the
not?
meme time.
I mean, we're back, and this is what we do.
mhm.
You expect it. You've been waiting for it all week.
Here we go.
Maybe not. I don't know.
Just for the meme.
Yeah, that's why they came. Is just for the meme.
Just it. That was it. That's it. All right. Well, it is a scene from The Gladiator. So Russell Crowe in his prime, and he is in his gladiator wear and hands out with a sword, mouth open, and you'll get it when I read it. It says, "You are surrounded by toys. Are you not entertained?"
There she
That's pretty
is.
much how it goes.
Nice.
That's what he's saying, and that's what a lot of parents feel with their. I'm bored. Like, really?
You mean that toy you got today?
Yeah. Or look at all the toys that you have. I know people that were really good about this stuff. They would like take part of the like clean the kids' toy rooms or something like that, and then put them away, and then bring them out and like rotate through the toys. I was never that organized. I dreamed of being that organized. I thought that's a great idea because in like anytime that you clean their room to throw away the broken toys, that's when they discover, oh, I love this toy. I'm like, no, you don't. It is half broken at the bottom in the corner with the goldfish crumbs of the toy box. You don't love this toy. You neglect this toy.
Ooh.
But no, they found it. They saw it again. They're like, this is my favorite.
So these moms or dads would put the toys away and then just bring out certain toys. So that's what I would see. Is that what happened?
So like, they would clean up their room and put some in a like Tupperware container and put it in the attic. And so then they'd have minimal amount of toys. And when they would, I'm bored, they go, okay. And they'd put all those toys away and then bring out the other Tupperware container of the toys that they already had.
I would have been the kid who was like, oh my gosh, look at these new old toys.
Totally.
All new toys. That's amazing.
Yep. When I was growing up as a kid, my mom would go to this place in Reading. I don't know what it was called, but
Storytime with Brittney.
Yes. You could go and like rent toys.
Oh, wow.
And so we rented, which they would never do now because probably all the germs everywhere, but you could rent these gigantic plastic. I mean, they were huge. They were essentially locking little walls, and so we would build little forts, which were basically squares. We would build squares.
Square forts.
And call them. But they were thick plastic.
Remember those?
Or that we would buy boxes that looked like colored bricks. I think we bought some for Lincoln. He liked them because he would pretend he was Hulk and he'd run into him. But we also went and rented those. That was probably a good idea. I don't know that it's COVID approved these days, but lots of germs. But I mean, what is daycare is basically the same.
It's true. Same.
Not
Schools.
Any different.
We have some friends who rent baby
gear.
Is that how you say that? Cribs, strollers, baby stuff.
Like camping gear, baby gear.
Yeah. Rents for babies or babies for rents, and they're all actually all over the country, and they do that.
So you don't have to fly with your stroller or with your car seat.
Your pack and play.
Yeah.
Which we did that a lot.
Yeah, we took that to Australia.
Yeah.
That was exhausting. Anyways, we're talking about helping your. What do you do when your kids make a mess? Not clean up your kids' mess. We don't do that here. Scratch that. It's not what we're talking about.
How do you solve your kids' problem before that?
No, it's not the topic at all. What do you do when your kids make a mess?
That's where we're at. I think part of this, for me, the discussion starts with how do I view mistakes? And maybe even in myself first. What do I think God thinks about that when I make a mistake? What did I learn growing up about mistakes or messes or even sin? What's happening on the inside of me? Because if I'm not very unaware of that was a weird way to say that. If I'm unaware of that,
there you go.
That's too many words for. If I'm unaware of what's actually happening inside of me and my paradigm and my leadership lens, then I'm gonna handle messes not very well because I haven't actually checked in on what do I believe to be true about this. So I think that's probably the first stop on this train.
Yeah. I mean, I think about it as, am I reacting or responding
Mm-hmm.
because I don't know how to handle mess?
Yeah.
And when I react to my kids' mess, I typically am not communicating that I am a safe place to fail in front of. So if I'm not a safe place to fail, then you will do everything you can to hide your failure, which is not, it doesn't work out for Adam and Eve in the garden. I don't know why we keep trying to do it. But that's the place of, I show you I can't handle it.
Yeah.
So I teach you, don't ever fail in front of me.
Yeah.
And this starts from when they're really young, and it gets bigger and their messes get bigger as they become older. But if I react to you spilling your milk or your cereal, or you hit your sibling, or you um forgot your lunchbox, or you lost that jacket that I decided to buy my child a really expensive jacket and you lost it, or you ripped it, or you got a bad grade on a test. Like, if I do a reaction in all of those moments, I just keep confirming, don't show mommy my mistakes. And parents are supposed to be the safest space.
Yeah.
We're supposed to be the first place our kids run to. We're supposed to be the place that they know that they will be welcomed with comfort, security, and we lead with that. And then we lead with, discipline and
Mm-hmm.
consequence. But if the first response is punishment and shame, and then we lead with connection, and then we lead with consequences and discipline, we've got it backwards.
Yeah.
So I do often, the belief system that we have of failure and messes will spin us into, are we reacting or responding? So if I can respond to your poor decision and not take it personal, then I'm going to do a better job.
Yeah. And I think the reacting, even sometimes in the moments where like maybe you often respond, but when it gets big, you react. I think it's when I feel like I'm caught off guard.
Mm-hmm.
We do coaching a lot with people, and we get told some pretty wild things. And at this point in the journey, we're like, not much can surprise us.
Yeah.
And that started with children. Like, not much can surprise us when you come tell us the mess you made, the thing that happened at school, the thing that boy said, the thing, But if we don't know how to like listen and be in charge of ourselves so we can respond, then I'm just gonna react to everything I hear. Like, oh my gosh, that happened?
Mm-hmm.
Oh boy, I'm not sure what to do now because my internal world is taking over,
Yeah.
and my fear is now on the outside.
Yeah. I think, like, if we were to break it down, the messes that kids make, toddler, elementary, teen. So first years of toddler. Okay. You say, I'm no longer shocked because they're professional mess makers. They wake
Exactly.
up and go, what mess can I make today? The world is my oyster.
How can I help chase away
how-
selfishness in my parents'
yeah.
style?
And what can I get into that is the most fascinating thing, but is going to be destructive? And that's just kind of how toddlers function. And they think that they are in charge. These little drill sergeants with their marching orders as
My
they
nephews.
sleep. I don't know who gives them their marching orders, but they wake up with them. So if you are continually shocked at the messes that they make, like I
Right.
remember Adeline walking into the kitchen and she's climbing up the pantry like she's climbing a tree to reach the box of goldfish, and I can't get there in time to the 3-year-old that's climbing the like a ladder. But to see the entire goldfish start to fall from the cabinet and the lid to pop off, and that gigantic box from Costco just explode as if confetti to celebrate the welcoming of the toddler. Like,
This parent's crying right now, going, "Oh
yeah,
my gosh,
this is
happened in my
life.
house."
So if I react to that and I'm shocked that that was ever going to be a possibility, you're living in a different world. I think these toddlers are just here to do this. So first thing, the tool that I would use right there is, oh no, what are you going to do?
Mm-hmm.
And at this point, Adeline is now climbing down, saying, "Mommy, I got it." Like, yeah, you got it.
Save me some time. It's already on the
You
floor.
got
I
it.
don't have to reach in anymore.
And I don't got it, and she's crushing them as she's getting to the ground and then decides to pop a squat down and just eat them. And there's a part of it's better to laugh than cry or to get angry. And if you can find that, that's the best approach. But I think the tool to use there is, oh no, what are you going to do? We have a big mess. And, they're probably going to keep eating them. But that's the tool to insert right there rather than punishment, reaction. It's this question, being curious and leading into, all right, we're gonna clean up our mess. And then you want to do it by yourself or do you want mommy's help? The choices are a really great place of practicing that empowerment for these toddler years. But that's the approach to practice with our toddlers when messes are made, is inserting those type of tools for that space. And I love choices for this season. They're definitely going to have to use my help. Mommy, I do it. Okay. At this point I've given up on that there's any salvageable goldfish, especially because we had a dog at the time. So Happy's hair was
everywhere.
Mixed in.
Yep.
And
hairy goldfish now.
Yeah. That's gross. Anyways, but yeah, so those are the tools I would use for a toddler.
Yep.
When you are faced with the messes.
Oh no, what are you gonna do?
Oh no, what are you gonna do?
Yeah,
it's curious.
Yeah,
it's not angry.
No,
that is a big mess. Yeah. Okay. Well, you want to get a bowl of goldfish and then we're gonna clean them up, because you don't mind eating hairy goldfish. It's gross, but whatever. And then, okay, let's clean it up so that Happy doesn't eat all the goldfish. And what do you want to use, this or this?
Yeah.
That's kind of
lots of choices.
How we would go, and then you put a lock on the pantry.
And a mess of goldfish is way more manageable and great teaching lesson than something else when they get older.
Yes,
which we'll get to. But we want to start there as early as we can.
Introducing the Mindset Tapestry, a game-changing way to boost your child's confidence and positivity. It's self-affirming mirror talk for kids, blending the affirmation tags and caregiver cards. It's easy to use and full of love. It strengthens the bonds between caregivers and children. I love their mission to raise a future generation of children to be authentic, purposeful, and to have a foundation of mental wellness throughout their development of their life and into adulthood. You can get a 10% discount by going to themindsettapestry.co and using the code Brittney10. That's BRITTNEY10 at checkout. So go ahead and head on over to the Mindset Tapestry and get your 10% off today by using the code Brittney10.
So I think this next mess level would be toddler years. Sorry, no, I read that wrong. Elementary. Let's get back to toddlers again. We need some more conversation there.
Help me.
Elementary. This one here is probably going to sound like bummer. What are you going to do about that? And who else do you think is affected by this mess? So there's a little more ownership taking place now, and I'm taking a little bit of a step back, and I want you to feel some more of this problem, or this mess you're in. I'm not leaving. I'm still here. But there's probably a little more. A fun example could be lunch. That's a common one around this age. Is I forgot my lunch.
Yeah.
Okay. Oh no, that's a bummer.
We just did a healthy families class at Jesus Culture.
Yep.
And so we had like 50 parents in there. It was fun. And we had been talking through this, and a couple in the class said that their son called because he forgot his lunch. And this mom is doing everything she can to not react and rescue. So reaction doesn't have to always be angry.
Good.
It could be this, I am solving a problem for you.
Yep.
I am not teaching you how to think for yourself. I don't believe you can do it. So of course you forgot your lunch. I will do it for you. I'll fix all these things. That's still a reactionary response. Instead of responding. So she said, it took everything within me.
So cool.
To not go to the school and bring him his lunch. I said, well, what happened? She says, well, he asked his teacher. She gave him an apple. Then he went to the other, like, I don't know, some place that had some random snack bar or something, and he got a bag of chips, and he was fine. Like, keyword, he was fine.
Yep.
But what a moment of growth.
Totally.
Of oh no, what are you doing? I mean, she said almost all of this verbatim.
And the picture in my head that I kind of see here is, when your child calls you, maybe in this scenario, something like it, it's kind of like the sliding the problem over, like, okay, now you take care of it for me.
Yeah.
And with lots of love and kindness and empathy, I'm going to take that problem and slide it right back to you. Like, here we go.
That's nice. I don't want that.
I got my own problems.
I have lots of problems. I don't need a lunch missing.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think Lincoln's forgotten, different things, going to Taekwondo. The girls forgot stuff for gymnastics, forgot lunches, many moments. But the elementary stage is we're helping them learn who the owner is of problems when they arise, and that we are not the ones that are meant to clean up their mess. So you can sometimes introduce this in toddler years, but elementary is really a great space for this to thrive and really start to manifest and come out, is who's the owner of this problem, and helping them see, oh man, who is this to impact? Like, this is a big mess.
I also think about even just the simple problem solving that's taking place right
Ability,
here. Yeah. Like they're having to go, I don't know what to do about this problem. I know. What could you do? I don't know. Okay. Who could you ask? The principal. That's a great idea.
Yeah.
What do you think is going to happen then? All of a sudden they're like, I'm trying to solve this big, hairy problem of I have no food.
That I did to myself.
Yeah, exactly. That's great. All right. Next one.
Next one is, hopefully you've been doing the work of helping them learn how to identify who the problem or who the owner is of the problem. They may not know exactly what the problem is of why they keep forgetting their lunch. So we're upgrading with every age. So here we are at the teen stage, asking the question, what's the problem? And I think of this as they're not doing their schoolwork.
Yep.
They're not getting up on time to get themselves to school because they're staying up super late playing Fortnite every night with their friends. That's not happening at our house, so I don't know why I would use that example.
No, not at all. Said Ben and Brittney sarcastically. If you're listening, I feel like I have to tell you that weird voice we just made. That was sarcasm. But that sleeping one feels like probably a common one for teens.
Yeah, and it's you've got a parent that's nagging. You've got a parent that keeps coming in there, that keeps waking them up. That's frustrated. They miss the bus. They're late. They get a tardy, and then the parents are in trouble. And you're like, "What the heck? I'm not the one that can't get up." So what's the problem?
Yeah.
What's the problem? You are late to school. What's the problem? I don't know. I like sleep.
You didn't wake me up.
Yeah, or you didn't wake me up. But here we get to go, well, I don't think that's the problem. Feel free to have a life. Feel free to have access to your video games, your phone, your friends, the fridge. No, I don't know. Whatever it is, as soon as you figure out what the problem is. And this is why we want to practice the question before that of helping them identify who the owner is of the problem. So when I ask this question of them as a teenager, they've got some practice of, this is not foreign.
Oh, this is my problem.
This is my problem. I don't know what's going on. So my favorite story here is like when Taylor, who was, I think he was 16 or 17, he was driving. He went to play video games at his brother's house and cousin's house. His phone died. He didn't think he should bother calling my parents to say I might spend the night. So it was late. So we just stayed the night. So my dad, who was really sick, noticed Taylor hadn't come home. Next morning, my mom comes and says, Taylor's on his bed. My dad's like, he never came home. And so when Taylor walked, my mom goes on a rant of calling all of his friends, to the point where Taylor finally gets wind of it at my cousin's house, that he is now on the missing persons list because my mother has put out the beacon. And that he walks and says, hey, this is what happened. And they're like, so this would be your consideration of us, is that nobody gets a phone call. He's like, what? Sorry. What? I didn't mean to. It was an accident. All the things, that they say. And he gets a phone call reminding him that he's got a Halo tournament, because that's what they did back then. And he's like, oh, I want to go. Can I go? And my dad's, well, I'm not having any fun right here. And I don't feel very safe. So feel free to go once you figure out what the problem is.
He also said, I don't feel very important.
Yes.
Which is that's a big one too. Like, cool.
Yes.
Here's a problem for you.
Now, Taylor is spinning.
Yeah.
Because he's like, what the heck? You're the most important people. He's trying to figure out, but he is lost in his own land of selfish teenage space. He ends up talking with Levi, and Taylor's just totally taking the victim role on this. But because there's been practice, but because this language isn't foreign in our house, Levi says, Taylor, you know what to do. What do they need? It's like Rocky, cut me, Mick.
Come on, man.
And that's when Taylor goes back in because he remembers, oh, this is my problem. What happened? Why did this lead to this moment?
Yeah.
I'm sending a message. That's what my dad's giving me information. And I got to figure out what I'm going to do with this. Obviously, he worked it out just fine. But the part that I think is really important is that we are building. If you can build this momentum, it's great. If you're just starting out and your kids are teenagers, then you might have to go back to stage, like toddler and kind of work your way back up. I think people don't think that you can use these things on teenagers, but I think you can. Like, oh no, what are you going to do about that? What does that mean? Well, it sounds like you got yourself in a mess. Let me know if you need help. Oh, well, what am I supposed to do? I don't know. I mean, we have one-liners, all those things. I think you can use all of these at any stage, so don't pigeonhole yourself into them. Yeah. I'm just kind of giving a rough estimate of where I would start.
And if you're changing the culture, it's going to feel like you're changing the culture.
Yeah, you're starting with toddlers.
Yeah, and so they're going to be like, this is not the agreement. You've done it. You've solved the problem for me for years now. Mm-hmm. And you're like, you're right. I have been doing that, and this is changing.
Right.
Because I love you that much.
Yeah. And teenagers are just toddlers with body hair anyway, so just remember that.
And smell worse.
Always.
Well, yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
Last thing is in the adult stage.
Which we are.
We've just started.
New, but we're there.
Yep.
We're all the way in now.
We are. She's almost 19. She's getting.
Yeah, we're like almost a year into this.
We are seeing that come around the corner.
Yeah. So this one here, and you've shared this in many different ways on different episodes, but this is where they become the friend. Mm-hmm. And so even when we find our friends in issues, we're using some of these tools too, mm-hmm. or in problems or mistakes or having a hard time. I'm asking similar questions to them too. So this may sound more like, that's a bummer. I'm so sorry. Do you need anything from me? Mm-hmm. Can I help you at all?
Yeah.
And I'm going to be engaged because you invited me into it. But you're an adult now.
Yeah.
That weight got heavier, and it should.
The key right there that you said is you invited me into it. Yeah. Adult parents, I love you. I love you a lot. But sometimes you still are treating those adult kids like they're teenagers or even elementary age, and you are problem solving when they didn't invite you, which working with parents, I watch them become sad because they don't get the permission and access to their adult child's life that they want because their adult child feels like a child around them rather than I'm going to college, I'm paying my rent, I paying my car payment, I hit a snag because I'm new and learning, and I don't want to do it the way that you're saying I have to do it. So instead of, as the parent, you should be asking questions. When we don't ask questions and we aren't invited into the process and we just spark out orders on what they should do, I actually won't tell you anymore, which I think is that hard tension that a lot of adult parents run into, or adult child parents, is my kid doesn't let me have access to their life or tell me these things. Well, it's because they feel like a kid around you.
Yep.
So asking questions, do you need anything from me? Would you like my help? I'm really sorry. You can still say things like, we had another friend from our, or a couple from our class that we were in. Their child has medication, felt like they were healed, leaving the country on a missions trip, doesn't want to take their medication for this medical situation they've got going on in their body. Parents are freaking out. child is 18, almost 19. And they're like, what do we do? I said, well, you get to say, I'm kind of scared that you're going to leave the country. And I want to partner and believe that God healed your body with you. But I'm scared. Like, what happens if you need that and you don't have it? But there's no invitation that kid had. They just are parenting them because I'm afraid. So we've got to ask questions like, hey, can we talk about you leaving the country without your meds? Well, what is it you want to talk about? Like, can I just tell you that I'm kind of scared? So those are the different places that are going to give you more access to influence, because we still always, I think, no matter what stage your kid is, we still want influence.
Yeah.
We still want to stay connected to their heart. Those are all things that never go away, but it just kind of changes in our approach. I have to be invited in, and I can't parent my adult child without an invitation.
Yeah.
I can't be that friend and resource without that. Otherwise, they tend to either be codependent on me, which I don't want to build in my adult child, or they will remove me and minimize my role as a voice of influence.
And I think the thread all the way through from toddler to adult is I have to deal with my scared.
Yeah.
I have to deal with my scared, which then leads me to learning how to respond and make sure the right owner has the problem, and then respond and not react.
Yeah.
Because I'm dealing with my fear. I'm making sure it's your problem. I'm asking great questions, and I'm always available. Yeah. I'm right here. I'm walking with you. This feels like the Holy Spirit in our lives. Now, I think our most recent episode with Seth, we talked about the Holy Spirit, and it's what he's doing for us. He's the comforter and the counselor, and he's walking with us. But there's something required from us too. He's not solving it for us or taking away all the work. He's a comforter because things are going to get hard. So I'll need comfort while I solve this problem. I think that's part of the role of a parent, especially when we get to the adult stage.
Love it. All right, parents. I don't doubt you're going to have lots of opportunity for messes.
Lots of messes.
So I think responding instead of reacting and utilizing those tools to help you build on the culture that you want in your home is what we're chasing after. You're going to be awesome. You're going to do a great job. We'll see you next week.
Bye-bye.